Do it for your future kid has been something that I resignated for a while. Doing the hard work for your future kids, for your future family, for your future wife is something I resignated with. And some people may see this as cringe, whatnot, or whatever it may be. But if it works, it works. People are so black-pilled nowadays and so sigma male grind set that they don't want future wife, they don't want this, they don't want that. But isn't what a true man is someone who cares for his family, who cares for his tribe, who is the leader of his tribe, someone who's fast and strong and the best in his tribe, and their tribe is the best. Isn't that something that we want, something we strive for? But when it comes to actually thinking about it, people just think it's cringe. You feel like giving up on your business. Just imagine your future child struggling. They want to ask for a little toy, but you can't. And I feel like I kind of want to tear up right now, but I'm not sure if I will. I'll tell you a really sad story back then. Me and my family were struggling. We weren't poor, but we were struggling. And I remember walking walking through a store wanting a $2 toy. Can you imagine that? A $2 toy. And I was afraid to ask my mom and dad. Why? Because we were already struggling financially and I was scared to ask for that $2 toy. And so, for the most few past times, I've struggled. In my childhood, I've struggled up until now. But mostly in my childhood, I felt it. I couldn't ask for anything. I would see always my mom and dad fight over money. And so every time my mom and dad was screaming at me, it just trauma dumped on me over and over and over again, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And so my life was so bad, my mental health was so bad to the point where I didn't want to live anymore. Every time I wanted something, I wanted to ask for something, I was always afraid to, because I thought that I would lose it. And so there was this time where I took therapy and had depression, and that's the time where I was able to ask for stuff and my parents were able to get it for me because I was like depressed and they wanted to give me everything I wanted because they thought that giving me what I wanted would make me feel better, but instead it just truly made me weak, right? There's a certain point where you can give what they want, but there's also a certain margin where if you keep giving them everything you want, they'll be weak. And so that's when like kind of my mental health deteriorated where I started to become obese. I played a lot of video games, anime, lost all my discipline, lost all my hard work. And so it went on and on and on and on. Until I met Hamza, right? Until I saw Hamza. And when I saw his video the other day of him talking about my generational trauma ends with me. My dad's father hit him and was angry towards him. My dad had to grow up so fast. My dad worked hard. He had to start very fast. And so I am where I am today because of him. And sometimes I know that I don't show a lot of gratitude to him. And one day he'll be gone and I'll regret it. And I know that's for sure. It's hard to balance your life that you're trying to build with the life that you already have. That's why we as men need to improve our mental health and not stop calling it a pussy. Because if all we do is trauma dump and trauma dump and trauma dump until our son, we keep trauma dumping onto our kid, and then our kid trauma dumps to his kid. And eventually, one of our generations is gonna end up killing themselves. One of my family members attempted suicide. And I'm pretty sure that happened because of trauma dump. My father had to grow up so young, selling bottles, selling newspapers so early on his age because his dad wasn't there for them. And so he took all that stress and put it onto his kids without even knowing it. And I don't blame him because this is the psychology of our brain. My mental health was trash. My eldest sister's mental health was bad when she was younger. And the second one was also trash. And I will try my best. My absolute best. Go through psychology, learn the psychology of a baby, learn the anatomy of a baby, whatever I have to do. My generational trauma ends now. I'll do gratitude all day. I'll meditate every day. Just so I can be the best father to my child. There's this thing where people say nowadays, you only live once. You only live once. And so why don't you live it for today? Live today. Live in the present moment. I agree with living in the present moment. But living in the present moment doesn't mean to waste time and to have fun. It means to do the things that you're supposed to do. Do the things that set you up for the future. Going to the gym is now. It's also for later. But those instant gratification stuff that are strictly just for now and ends up bad later, the bad habits, that's what you need to remove from your life. Again, do it for your future kid. If you play video games, if you smoke weed, before you even have a kid, stop smoking weed. Stop watching porn. You catch a kid watching porn, it's because of you. We need to be better men for our children. We need to strive for financial freedom as young men. And so this is why we need to work hard. This is why we need to start on our craft young. Whatever your craft may be, boxing, this, YouTube, e-com, drop shipping, whatever it may be. I don't know any of those stuff, right? Editing videos, whatever it may be. Work on it young. So when you're old enough to have a child, you have financial freedom, and your purpose becomes your child. You take all your knowledge and you give it to your child, and your child becomes better than you. And that's what we want. We want our generation to evolve. But if all we do is trauma dump and trauma dump and trauma dump and don't fix ourselves before we even have a kid, our kid will not be an evolution of us, but a de-evolution, a downgrade. And is that really the life you want for your kid? You can say, "Oh, but discipline's good, hard work is good. You should do this, you should do that for your child. You should do this so they can learn how to do this and that." There's a difference between giving your child experience, and there's literally a difference between giving someone genuine trauma to make them want to kill themselves. Like, you can say all here, you can sit here all you want and try to explain to me, like, "Oh, but if they want to kill themselves, they're selfish and they're that." But isn't it better, genuinely, think this in your head, isn't it better if you can prevent it from happening? The people who don't want to do this are genuinely the people who don't want to put the effort into it or don't see any outcome of it. And the fact is, they're lazy. And if you're watching this video and you made it here, I know you're not lazy. Because you put in a full intention into this video of me talking to you, telling you literally that you need to fix yourself for your future child. Get a good physique, learn martial arts, so when your child and his child gets in a fight, you're there to defend your son. And you ain't some wuss who says, "Oh, I'll pay you, I'll do this, I'll do that, let's not fight." You're there for your son, and you beat the crap out of that dude he was fighting, his dad. And he said, "Dad, you were so cool." We must be better men than our fathers were. That is our obligation. We were put in this world not to be worse men than people were here. We were put here to be better men than yesterday's men. Do it for your future wife. Do it for your future kids. That's enough for me. See you. Have a good rest of your day.